This Christmas is the first Christmas where I was just with one wife and her children.
His wife died.
I know, his youngest was 6.
And left him with 8 kids, and he didn't get addicted to gambling and drugs.
I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, especially my other children. Ah yes, the classic no offense opener. As if tacking on that little phrase magically shields you from being a total jerk. It doesn't. My sister-in-law always throws in a sarcastic, no offense, none taken, but, and honestly, that's exactly how it works. You don't get to decide whether someone is offended, KODY. You monumental douche. But wait, it gets worse. The real kicker? This isn't just a one-off holiday blunder. Oh no, he actually tried to cancel Christmas entirely before Robyn even joined the family. That's right, the same holiday he's now happily spending with his new favorite family. Meanwhile, the OG clan? Yeah, he was ready to toss their Christmas into the trash. Diabolical much? And of course, in classic KODY fashion, he just can't help but refer to Robyn's kids as her children. Again. We've got so much to dive into today, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into it. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Elena here, and welcome back to my channel Reality Nexus X. Why does Tony get under my skin so much? I can't quite pin it down, but every time he's on screen, I feel a certain way. Let's just say it's not warm and fuzzy. It's not like he's done anything to me personally, but I just can't bring myself to be a Tony fan. Am I the only one here? I think it's because he's this married father of 3 who still acts like a stoned teenager. His sense of humor is so wildly inappropriate. I kind of get it if we're talking about dudes under 25, but Tony? He's out here throwing shock value jokes around like he's performing for a bunch of culturally Mormon grandmas. It's rude, weird, and just, why? There's something about people obsessed with shock value past a certain age that screams immaturity. And can we talk about how much of a tryhard he is? He tries so hard to be shocking and funny, but the delivery? Awkward. Every single time. Mikelty does the same thing, constantly trying to stand out, always seeking attention. They're exhausting. Honestly, I think what gets me is how unapologetically confident he is, despite having no discernible talent, charm, or good looks. Like, that's what it is for me. He says the most awkward, uncomfortable stuff and somehow thinks it's funny. He has zero boundaries, especially with his mother-in-law. Some of the things he says to Christine are borderline rude. Who says David reminds them of KODY? Why on earth would you say that to Christine? Also, he kind of looks like a slob, and his buggy eyes freak me out. And let's not forget, Tony is totally an agent of chaos. Sure, it's fun to watch from an entertainment standpoint, but he's that guy who manipulates you into spilling your true feelings about someone, and then brings it up later in front of them. He's also that person you hang out with who's never fully engaged, because his brain's already on to the next thing. It's unsettling. Additionally, Christine's daughter Mikelty, clearly trying to make everything about herself and Tony, decided to chime in with a classic. Well, Christine didn't move too fast. I married Tony pretty quickly too. Yisabel, ever the diplomat, gave her a polite look, acknowledged her feelings, and then promptly shut her down with, "I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Mom." I'm dead. Finally, someone called Mikelty out on her constant need to center herself in every conversation. Still super proud of Yisabel for speaking up. Honestly, Mikelty's got a serious case of inherited narcissism from her dad. Her desperate need for the spotlight? Unbearable. She's still young though, so fingers crossed she figures out how to tone it down as she matures. Furthermore, sister wives star KODY Brown and Meri. Seriously, what even is that conversation in Season 19, Episode 6? He's going on about how he regrets ever marrying her, because that's exactly what their child needs to hear, right? And now he's suddenly upset that she moved too quickly to get a spiritual release from their marriage. The man has been saying for years that he didn't want to be with her. Now he's questioning why she acted on it. It honestly feels like KODY went there just to hammer the final nail in the coffin of their relationship. Like he needed to remind her that he never loved her and marrying her was a mistake. What is the point of this conversation? It's almost like he's rehashing old wounds for the sake of punishing her. That's the thing about KODY, he's a punisher. When he feels wronged, in his mind at least, he needs to see the other person suffer. Telling Meri he wishes he never married her, or that he should have left her sooner, is his way of twisting the knife. But at the same time, he doesn't want her to walk away. He wants her to stay, endure his cruelty, and somehow still cling to hope. It bothers him now that she's less reactive to his manipulative tactics. And let's not forget how pissed he is that the church elders granted Meri a release based on abandonment. That's a blow to his ego, because it paints him as the bad guy, not the good man he tries so hard to project. And honestly, if the church decrees abandonment, even Robyn might have to face the fact that KODY's not exactly the great guy she thought he was. As well as, Sister Wives star Christine Brown's got some serious Arrested development going on. I like her, but her comments about how she wouldn't listen to her kids if they didn't like David? Completely ridiculous. Let me explain. First, she has a minor child who shouldn't be subjected to anyone who makes her feel uncomfortable. As a mother, she needs to prioritize her child's emotional safety. Second, her adult children might have valid concerns, and it's important she at least hear them out. Ignoring their input is dismissive and could lead to missing red flags. I know from personal experience, after spending years in a cult and being married to the same man until he passed away, I started dating again. I made sure my family could voice their concerns if they noticed something I didn't. Thankfully, I'm now in a loving relationship, but I didn't just ignore people's input because I was infatuated. David seems like a genuinely sweet guy, and Christine is lucky to have found that, but her thinking here? It's twisted. She's acting like an infatuated teenager, and infatuation is not the same as love. I hope it works out for her, especially now that they're married, but her approach is far from healthy. I love Christine and want the best for her, but honestly, this is a bit ridiculous. Marrying the first guy she dated after leaving a bizarre abusive relationship, that's not the recipe for a solid, healthy foundation. If this relationship lasts, it's going to come down to luck more than anything else. Good luck to her though, she's going to need it. Additionally, this season is terrible. It feels like a bunch of random, self-filmed clips that they've just thrown together and called reality TV. That's it. It's boring, and I'm losing interest fast. And don't even get me started on the constant flashbacks. Half the time, it's just recycled footage from earlier seasons. What's the point of watching Live anymore when you can catch all the new content on TikTok in under 5 minutes? Last night's episode? Easily the most boring one yet, probably because we've all heard the Christine and David story 100 times by now. It's just unnecessary at this point. The only decent part was seeing some of the kids who haven't been on screen in a while. More of that, TLC please. But if they don't start speeding things up, they're going to lose a huge chunk of the fan base. It's honestly insulting at this point. We've always known that production isn't exactly top tier, but watching last night's episode was the first time I actually felt a bit offended. It's like I can see the production team just lazily slapping it all together. Let's throw in some Flagstaff shots, a few of Robyn crying, 18 teaser clips of what's coming up, and call it a day. They'll watch anything. However, David seems nice enough, but the way they met and how quickly everything has progressed raises some serious red flags for me. First off, David has admitted he knew who Christine was and had watched the show before. Plus, we've heard from his daughter that she mentioned Christine leaving KODY and suggested they'd be a good match. Then, by some bizarre twist of fate, they accidentally match online. And just a week later, he's professing his love for her and calling her his unicorn. It feels way too contrived to me. Let's not forget that David is a Wooly and Christine is an Allred. The AUB was founded by his family and led by hers. He's been living in Salt Lake, so it's likely he's in regular contact with many current and former members. It's hardly surprising that they'd match given their shared background. For those of us not born into the bizarre world of the AUB, polygamy, and reality TV, we can spot the red flags that Christine might overlook. Honestly, David could sprout horns and breathe fire, and viewers would be shouting, "Whoa, red flags." Meanwhile, Christine would probably shrug it off with, "Well, he's still better than KODY." There's also speculation that Christine and David started dating much earlier than they're publicly admitting. If that's the case, it makes sense they'd want to emphasize how certain they were early on to justify why they moved so quickly, trying to keep their timeline consistent. Also, in the most recent episode, there was a moment when Tony made a comment about David that felt very intentional. Could he be subtly referencing KODY? There have been whispers about KODY having a gambling problem, and his behavior certainly raises red flags for addiction. Is Tony taking a dig at him? Was that the line about being addicted to drugs and gambling? Honestly, Tony annoys me so much that I tend to tune him out. But if he was indeed throwing shade at KODY and Robyn, I'm here for it. I've been tracking the gambling hints since their time in Vegas, especially Robyn buying those ridiculous little figurine investments. I can't help but think those were gifts tied to KODY's gambling issues, or maybe to both KODY and Robyn's problems. I could totally picture KODY saying something like, "I could be a professional gambler." It even tracks that Tony and Mikelty made their baby sprinkle gambling themed. When I first heard Tony's comment, my immediate thought was, wouldn't you typically reference alcohol or drugs for drowning your sorrows? Gambling felt a bit out of left field. If KODY were really hitting the casinos, you'd think we'd have seen some pictures by now. I know a lot of rumors swirl around to keep us drama-hungry viewers engaged, but I'm not completely sold on this. Sure, online gambling exists, but can you imagine him trying to navigate a mouse and keyboard while wearing those ridiculous gloves? I can just picture him standing like Captain Morgan at the computer desk, trying to place bets. However, it seems like Sister Wives star Robyn Brown finally got what she always wanted, but the reality isn't matching her expectations. She cries through every episode and laments every situation. It's almost like she thrives on creating her own misery. Where are those clips of her daughters acting immaturely with KODY, like the ear-piercing incident? Were those shown in the series? Of course she's miserable. She's the one who ended up with KODY just as his star and bank account started to plummet. She probably thought she was marrying into a financially stable situation, but now that everyone has bolted, she's left with KODY 24/7. And let's be honest, that's a lot of KODY, more than I'd want. I genuinely believe she's shocked and upset that he has discarded 16 members of his immediate family and seems completely indifferent to it. Even if she's looking at it from a selfish perspective, she has to be wondering what she really got herself into. But I think her misery runs deeper than that. She's unhappy because she has no competition anymore. Her entire identity has been wrapped up in being the chosen one. With the other wives gone, she has no one left to feel superior to, no one to beat out for the title of beloved wife. At the end of the day, it was never really about winning KODY, it was about beating Christine. Also, the reality star KODY Brown is being so vulgar lately with his F and F theory. It's outrageous. He's quick to blame the moms for his kids being disgusted with him. But honestly, what kid wouldn't be grossed out hearing their father speak about their mother in such crude terms? What really confuses me is how the original 3 wives claim KODY showed favoritism toward Robyn, something both KODY and Robyn vehemently deny. Yet he's constantly talking about how he's never loved anyone before Robyn, how they have a real intimacy, and how they're soulmates. Isn't that the definition of favoritism? When his kids and ex-wives call him out on it, he gets angry and defensive, insisting it's not true. Seriously, make it make sense. That entire conversation was just gross. And his claim that he was rattled by Sunny and Cher's divorce at the tender age of 6. Yeah, right. I find that hard to believe. At the end of the day, KODY loves KODY and has absolutely no filter when it comes to describing his wives and their lives. The one exception? Apparently, Robyn is shy about public displays of affection. He's turning into a complete boorish buffoon, and it's getting more and more disgusting to watch. Plus, using Sister Wives star KODY Brown's own logic, it's clear that everyone hating him is his fault. Seriously, what a bizarre thing to say. If having people love you is your fault, then the same must apply to hate and all the negative feelings, right? So it follows that Christine leaving him is his fault too, just like his kids not talking to him. How can he honestly believe that his thoughts and feelings are other people's fault? Yet he turns around and screams at Christine for leaving him. His logic is utterly delusional. It's like his mind is stuck at the maturity level of a 3-year-old. But I guess that's what happens when you're born into a religion that promises you a whole planet and makes you the gatekeeper of that world after you die. It's no wonder he's turned out this way. Additionally, the father of 18, KODY Brown, is nothing but a huge shite-crusted sphincter. The audacity of him to say, if I'm not in love with a woman that I married, that's her fault? What the actual hell? He genuinely believes that his feelings are somehow a woman's fault, while a woman's feelings are also her fault, making KODY the faultless martyr in this twisted narrative. It's a load of steaming crap. I can't believe he had the gall to say that out loud. I'm glad Meri pushed back, but honestly, if I were her, I might have clobbered him. I'll admit I've enjoyed some of the drama and the thought of KODY getting dumped 3 times, but at this point, he's just being verbally abusive in every single talking head segment. With Garrison gone, I really think this show needs to wrap it up. There are no more sister wives, no plural family, nothing. TLC could come up with a different title if they want to feature the others, but KODY does not deserve a platform to continue his abusive behavior. It's infuriating that he wanted Meri gone, and now that she's left, they have to sit down and rehash everything every episode. He films more with Meri than he does with Robyn. Furthermore, I had a random thought about how, in some ways, polygamy is a lot like a multi-level marketing (MLM) scheme. In this analogy, the husband acts as both the product and the founder. He's what everyone has to buy into, sell, and believe in. The first wife is akin to the early sellers. She has to make the product look appealing and portray being part of this lifestyle as a blast, focusing on the social connections and the fun gatherings. The second wife enters after some of that initial success has been established. She's there to professionalize things, bring a sense of respect, and introduce valuable skills, like better financial management. Then comes the third wife, who signifies a more serious commitment. By this point, everyone is hoping for success, and while the risk isn't as high as it was for the first 2 wives, there's a lot more care work involved because there are more people and dynamics to navigate. I just wanted to share this thought because it's interesting how these 2 concepts, polygamy and MLMs, can feel oddly related in terms of structure and expectations. However, KODY's invite to Meri was downright bizarre. He storms in, still upset that she sought her release, and honestly, I don't buy the podcaster who claimed KODY couldn't care less about it. He's fuming over why she sought it so quickly and even suggests they could have faked it. Then he has the nerve to invite Meri to Christmas because Robyn still thinks they're family. Meri quickly disabuses him of that notion. What a lovely invitation. I wonder why that went wrong, sarcasm intended. The worst part of this scene was how heavily edited it was. You could tell they were responding to something that had been cut out, making the conversation feel very choppy. KODY is too dense to realize that the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. If he truly had no feelings for Meri over the last 25 years, he wouldn't be at her house complaining about her getting a spiritual divorce from a church he no longer believes in. Jenelle and Christine have left him too, but all of his bitterness is directed at Meri. She was his last scapegoat. Sorry, Robyn, I know you wanted that title. The church elders calling him out for abandoning her likely bruised his ego, and that's mostly what this is about. You can tell he's shocked and upset that she's officially quit the family. He claims he wanted her gone for all these years, but he didn't actually believe she would leave. I don't think he loves her, at least not in a healthy way, but he definitely feels something toward her. It was baffling to hear him try to intimidate her in that same conversation. He accused her of gaslighting when he was, in fact, gaslighting her. He told her he didn't like her, claimed she was the wrong woman, expressed anger that she asked for a divorce, and got upset that she wouldn't come over for Christmas. That entire conversation was just mind-boggling. Is he actually insane? Moreover, Sister Wives star Meri Brown's relationship with her child seems pretty strained, especially after that last episode, where she chose to spend Christmas with friends instead of with her child and their partner. I mean, it's a little odd for a mom to be away from her kid during the holidays, right? It raises some questions. Did I miss some major fallout between them? Sure, there were a few heated exchanges in the past, but this seems like a significant distance. From what I gather, Meri respects Leon's desire to stay out of the spotlight and has avoided mentioning them in filming. It seems like the Christmas scene was just a way to fill content for the show rather than a genuine family moment. Also, Meri had to step back from posting about Leon on social media because the hateful comments she was getting about them and Audrey were over the top. It got so bad that she even called out some of the trolls during a Facebook Live session. After that, it looks like Leon decided to stop participating in Sister Wives altogether. So it's clear there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than what we're seeing on screen. Also, could Sister Wives star KODY Brown actually be for real? I mean, his outrageous claim that if I love you, it's your fault. If I don't love you, it's your fault sounds like something straight out of a bad sitcom. It's hard to take that seriously. His behavior in this episode was so bizarre that it feels like he's purposely leaning into the villain role just to keep the paycheck coming. Is he really that out of touch, or is he just acting? When he said he disregards what Robyn says, it left me questioning if he's living in some kind of delusion or if he's just playing a part for the cameras. I'm really struggling to believe that anyone could be that disconnected from reality. Am I the only one feeling this way? It's hard to wrap my head around how someone could genuinely behave like this. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and much love to you all.